bit.
Keep going. I usually just wear like a t-shirt, but I was like, I know Cam's gonna come loaded, so I was like, I got it.
Didn't woke up and showered and put this on.
Really? You got a lot more ink since the last time.
Man, yeah, and
it's not
changed.
Yeah, how many years has it been since that?
Dog. So 2012, so 10. This is 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. And this isn't even finished yet. I literally just got this started this year.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm trying to do like an Alice in Wonderland sort of sleeve.
No, I like it. I can see the cards. And
yeah.
Shit's tight.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That rose is really fucking good.
Man, thank you.
It's better than my rose. So yours looks pretty realistic though. Like mine's all American traditional, so it's like super sticker style.
Yeah, it was cool because I went in there and I just told him I wanted like I didn't come in with a picture to do. I was just like, yo, I want a Alice in Wonderland sleeve, and then
he just like
he just drew it out on on my arm. He was like, and then this can go there, and this can go there. And I actually went to high school with him. So
really?
Yeah,
and
he's always been.
Deal,
oh yeah,
okay,
definitely.
That's a bet.
And he's, I mean, off the record. But yeah, and he's always
go to him for good prices.
right. But nah, he's always been like drawing even through high school and shit. So it's like cool to see the shit like come to fruition.
All right. Looks like we are good to go.
Yo,
what's up, everybody? How we doing?
Oh shit!
It's your boy Loon. I got my man Cam here. You can shiggity wig wiggity big biggity bet it.
All that
on the Lunar Lounge podcast. This is a guy I've known for probably about a decade now. It's been a hot minute. And then I'm assuming right after college you just moved straight here, right?
Yeah.
So you moved straight to Dallas. Did you move to Dallas with the intention of starting a band, or were you just like fucking?
Not at all. I came back. So I wrote my mixtape in college, which is kind of why I ended up like dropping out. Because
you dropped out of college?
I dropped the fuck out.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, bro.
I had no idea.
I was just gone.
What was your major?
It was business management, business marketing.
That sounds
maybe
whack. Anyways,
I literally only went because my mom was like, "You got to do something.
You have to do something. You got to go to college."
And like she just wasn't fucking with the music. Not that she wasn't fucking with the music, like she was a hater, but she was just like. So my dad to this day is still trying to be a rapper. And she just didn't want me for real.
She didn't want you to do the same thing.
She didn't want me to end up.
Hey,
like
well,
that.
I gotta respect your mom.
You know, yeah. And then it's awesome because like within recent years, maybe like a year or two ago, she like came to one of my shows. I think we were playing at Bomb Factory whenever we opened for P-Funk, like Parliament and Funkadelic.
Yeah. And
like she pulled me to the side and she was like, "I'm so glad you didn't listen to me." And it was just like made my fucking life. Dude.
Right. It will, like when she comes to one of those shows and sees the impact that you have on other people, because she knows how much you like it.
Right.
But other people have to validate that for her to be like, okay, he's doing something that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the same way. My dad was a musician my whole life, but he was kind of a bum. So my mom was like, always have something to fall back on.
Right.
I hated that phrase.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to fall forward. Denzel Washington talks about that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love music. I'm still going to do it. But then it's like, I just diversified the things that I did. So doing podcasts, hosting shows. I don't know if you've hosted anything, but there's great money in hosting things.
Really?
So, because you can charge more. So instead of playing one set, splitting it with your bandmates, I was doing this a lot in Austin. It's like, I'll host the 4-hour show. I'll book all the artists.
Yeah.
You just pay me a $500 fee. Yeah. And then I'll have everybody, I'll do intros and shit like that. So if you're good,
all you got to do is talk.
Yeah, all you got to do is talk. Just introduce people. Hey, everybody put your hands together for blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And you get paid the big bucks.
Man, I'm about to host some shit.
Yeah, you need to host some stuff. Yeah. Cool. If you would, pull that mic a little bit closer to your face. I just want to make sure we get you good. Cool. All right, so everybody, this is my man Cam. I'm assuming you go by Cameron McLeod now.
Cameron McLeod.
Can you clear up the name? I just want to get them all right.
It's Cameron McLeod. Okay. And going back into my dad wanting to be a rapper to this day, his last name is McLeod, but he was never in my life. But I feel like if there is a such thing as a rapper gene, I got it from him. Because he would like always send me his mixtapes and shit, like growing up, even though he wasn't around. And yeah, so Cameron McLeod kind of comes from like, you know, Ricky McLeod Jr.
Ricky McLeod Jr. So that's your dad's actual name. Yeah. And then, so did you take your mom's name?
Yeah, like my last name is Smith. Off the record.
Off the record.
Yeah.
So like the McLeod thing is kind of like a jab to your dad.
Yep. Yep.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't know. I remember you used to call yourself Kid Cam.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, cool. We got Kid Cam.
Yep. Yep.
And then for the rest of it, I was just like, I didn't know with Cure for Paranoia. I didn't know if it was like a collective that was your name now or what it was. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, man.
So right after college, you came out here and you were like, fuck it, I'm going to do rap.
Yep.
So I remember seeing videos of you on the streets with like the long hair white dude.
Yep.
He was, I don't know if he was beatboxing or making beats, and you were like
on his loop station.
Yeah, loop station, and you were just rapping. So kind of talk me through how the journey started when you got here?
So honestly, whenever I got back, the meeting Stan, who was part of Cure for Paranoia, didn't happen until maybe probably like 3 or 4 years after I dropped out.
Oh damn!
Prior to that, the mixtape that I worked on in college, I like pressed it up and would basically like burn like hundreds of CDs, and hundreds of CDs, and I would take them to the mall, and basically I stayed with my roommate, and it got to the point where I would basically like sell CDs at the mall, like go up to people and be like, "Yo, it's 5 songs, $5. I can rap to you, and if you think it's whack, you can cop a tape. Right. If you don't think it's whack, you can cop a tape, and if you do think it's whack, then you can just laugh and I'll walk away."
Okay, like, that's fair.
Yeah, man. And it like literally, I would sell my half a rent doing that, and he would like do like shitty tattoos, and that's how he paid rent for the apartment.
Hey, it's a hustle, baby. Man. So you were literally slinging CDs out of them all. On average, was it 7 days a week, 5 days a week?
Yeah, it was about like 7 days a week, because I would definitely always go on like the Saturday, Sundays, you know, on the weekend crowd whenever there's a bunch of people there. Yeah, because like you'll be there for like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours, and like leave with like $400.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah. Selling $5 CDs.
Yes, and on top of that, it was like I literally each CD I would get the little cardboard boxes, and I would basically like write the fucking title of the thing, and then individually write the fucking track list of them.
So it took a lot of like grunt work.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
So were you going by Cam at that time?
So I was going by Kid Cam.
First. Okay.
And then I was going around selling my CDs in so many malls that it turned into people would be like, "Oh, you're that Kid Cam."
You're that Kid Cam.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So then I started going by that Kid Cam. And like my CDs ended up introducing me to this guy named Jay Rhodes, who's like really like renowned producer out here. He's produced for like Talib Kweli and Black Thought. No, Jay Rhodes. That's JT.
Okay.
Jay Analog in my band has dreads.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
Jay Rhodes made my first project as that Kid Cam.
Okay.
And then I kind of got like my first like underground like magazine pubs and shit like that.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Like the jumping with the
Yep.
Like I thought that shit was really cool.
Man, thank you.
I was very, very proud of you when I was like, man, because this is a big city.
Yeah.
Austin's not near as big as Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to put a puncture in the scene. It's much easier in Austin. You go to a couple open mics, you got good beats and a good flow. People are like, "Who are you?" And you dress crazy, which you already did.
Yep.
So that's kind of what
I don't think I had style.
Did you have the style?
I didn't
Dude,
have
when I met
style
you,
in
you were wearing a
college.
backpack.
Yeah, it was like backpack, and I think I had like instead of a belt, I had a shoestring, and like that was me being like,
it was like Skater Kid, Kanye West.
Yeah,
like,
Lupe, sort
of.
Lupe,
kinda like baggy pants.
I was very much heavily influenced by Michael Cera, so I would get a bunch of like
Michael Cera, really?
I really was like Scott Pilgrim and shit like that. So I wanted to wear like, I don't know, like Target like print shirts and shit like that,
graphic tees.
Yeah, man, I didn't know what the fuck was
That's
going
funny
on.
As hell.
That was just where I was at, but. It literally wasn't until, so fast forward, there's the CDs, and then my mom's even still is like, "That's great that you're making money with CDs, but you need to get an actual job."
Yeah.
And it really would fucking suck, because I'd come home and be like, "Look at what I fucking made."
Yeah.
Just like with this thing
I'm
I
just
created.
CDs, Mom.
You know what I mean? And she's just,
no boss.
But in her mind, it's like, you know, panhandling, which it is.
Yeah.
But it's just like, she was just like, that's not sustainable, pretty much. So which is why I was actually selling CDs at my mom's house first, and then she was like, "Well, you still have to get a job," and I was like, "Well, I can pay rent. Like,
the money's coming. Who cares where it's from? Yeah, as long as you're not something dope."
Right, exactly. So then that's when I ended up moving in with my homie Dustin, and he was like doing like shitty tattoos, and like neither of us wanted to work an actual job. Like he wanted to be a singer, and you know, obviously I was pursuing rap. So I got to the point where I was just like, it's going to be homeless or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it has to be. It's like a mindset shift. You're like, it's either I'm going to do it or I'm going to be on the streets doing it. So
then fast forward to like maybe a year after I stopped living with Dustin, I ended up living with this dude. I call him Tyler Durden because he had like a sleep disorder. It was narcolepsy, which is different than what Tyler Durden actually had.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I was literally homeless at that point. I was just living at his house rent free,
couch surfing.
Yeah, man. And but I had met these guys, Stan, Jay, and Tomahawk, at their studio, because like after the project with Rhodes came out, a bunch of people were kind of trying to manage me, and this one guy,
you need to be doing this, like,
exactly,
no, you need to fuck off,
exactly. And some guy was trying to create this thing called Deep Ellum record label or something like that, trying to create a label with Deep Ellum artists.
Okay.
Because he is the one. I don't know if you remember when this kid from Dallas named Justin, but he goes by Justice. He ended up on the Dr. Dre album on Compton.
Dude, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And this guy that was trying to manage me is the one that introduced him.
Oh, shit.
But didn't get any cut from it. And he was like, all right, never letting that happen again. So he like was trying to put together a collective of people. i.e. Jay and Stan and Tomahawk. And he introduced me to them. And then he was trying to put us on his label. And I missed it. I hate that I missed this day. But there was a meeting that Tomahawk, one of my bandmates, was in. And like he just read the contract. And it was just like so fucking ass backwards.
Like a 360. Yes, dude. Like you do all the work, I take all the profits. Yeah. So all the money we do give you, you got to pay us back.
Exactly. So he fucking like took a lighter to the contract in front of him. And then we just started working together on our own.
Probably the best thing you could have done.
Yeah.
Because if you would have taken the deal, and let's say things did go well. I don't know if you've heard the story with TLC. It's like they sold like 3 million copies, but they were making like 10 cents a copy.
Damn.
And it was like they made like 300 grand, right?
Yeah.
But then they had to pay for their music video.
Wow.
And they had to pay for their outfits. And they had to pay for, you know, so by the end of it, it's like I think they pocketed like 30K.
Damn.
And they're fucking TLC.
Right.
If they would have been indie, you could have done some shit like Young Dolphin, you know?
Yeah.
You own everything. You own your masters. So
Right.
it's crazy.
But at the time, that wasn't really like common knowledge that was possible. Like you needed a machine at that time.
What year was this?
This was 90, like early 90s.
Oh, okay.
Or you're talking about TLC? Or you're talking
I'm talking about you.
Oh, this is 2014. I'm like TLC? Yeah, early 90s.
Because it gives me like overtones of like when Chance the Rapper was doing it.
Yeah.
You know, he did it solo or whatever. So like
with acid
it was
rap and stuff like that.
Really unheard of to do that. And I think that was around that 2013, 2014 time. So for you guys not to take that plunge, like it's pretty bold because that's all you want.
Right.
You're like, I just want somebody to pump it. Like as a rapper, I totally feel you're like, I'm good at what I do. Do everything else. Do the marketing. I'll just show up. I'll do my thing.
Yeah.
But it sucks when because you want that contract, but then you get it, you read it, you're like, this is trash.
Right.
I'm not.
Right. Because some people sign just for the sake of being like, I signed. You know, and it's just
because you get some money up front.
Right.
But that's the thing. They give you 10 mil up front. They want that 10 mil back.
Right.
T-Pain talks about this shit all the time. Yeah. And then they control you. Right? Yeah. They control where you go, what you do, all the shows that you do, and like pretty much you just have to be on the road all the time. Which I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't mind that. I know I wouldn't be.
Right. But you want it to like monetarily make sense though.
Yeah. You want to make money. It's like I'm putting my fucking blood, sweat, and tears in this. I better have something to show for it at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So yeah, people in the chat are like, it's when the machine stops liking you and then you still owe them money. And it's like, if you're not producing them, if the tree's not fruitful, they're like, well, just chop the tree down.
Yep.
So cool. So you did that for a while. Where are you from though?
I'm from here. I'm from Dallas.
You're from Dallas.
Yeah. Okay. Born in Irving. And then like me and my mom moved around. Like she was like running from someone. Cause like basically we'd stay in an apartment. As if she was running from someone.
I was about to say, I need to hear this story if that's the case.
No. Basically my mom, we would get an apartment and basically stay that 6 months and then get evicted and then go to the next spot. You know what I mean? So it was just like I was moving from like Irving to Coppell, Louisville,
all around this area.
Yes, all around. It wasn't until I pursued music that it was like Dallas.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay around this area.
Yeah.
So you were raised by a single mom?
Yep.
Dad was in the picture?
Yeah.
I'm kind of same way with me, man.
Yeah, man.
When did your dad split?
Shit.
Immediately? Yeah. Like it was like, all right, you're pregnant, cool. I'm out.
From the jump.
Oh, bet. Okay.
Yeah.
So my dad went crazy when I was about 5, 6, and then
I feel like that would be worse, honestly, if I would have actually like had a sort of relationship with him, even because regardless of whether you were 5 or not, like that's still ingrained in you.
Well,
you know?
as a young boy, you want a dad figure, right? It's cool to have a great mom. Love all the single moms out there, but like you want a dad figure out there, like show you how to be a man. I wasn't ever taught how to be a man. I was taught a lot of feminine things, and I had to learn my masculinity through my other friends, which is maybe why now I wear jewelry. And I mean, look at both of us, tatted jewelry. It's just, it kind of shapes you as a person. I can't go back. It's just who I am. So you moved around a lot. Dad wasn't in the picture. I mean, so let's go back to when the music started. So you're doing this 2013, 2014.
Yep.
You're selling mixtapes. When do you guys actually form Cure for Paranoia? When does that happen?
Okay. So I would have to preface it by saying that I used to have to smoke weed to do everything.
I feel you. Right there with you, bro.
Used to.
Yeah.
And then one day it flipped. And like one day, just for some reason, I'll never forget, I was working at Kroger's. I used to have to get high to go to Kroger's. It was the best. I'd just be like,
who can go to Kroger's sober,
you know what I mean? Why? For what?
Yeah.
And so I'm up there one day. And just for some reason, I felt like everyone in the store was talking shit about me.
Oh yeah, paranoia.
Everyone in the store, like everyone, like the blind dude with this like CNI dog was talking shit about me. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I talked to my mom and I'm like, dude, I think something's up. Because then it even got to the point where like voices would get involved.
Oh shit!
Like I started getting mad at my friends for stuff that I thought they said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stuff that I imagined in my head that they said. And I'm telling my mom something's wrong, and she's like, "Oh, you're just a late bloomer." Because in Black communities, there is no mental illness. There's just you need to at the time. It's getting better now.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, in Black communities, there's not mental illness. There's not depression. There's not anxiety. Take a nap. go to church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
pray about it.
You know what I mean? Pray it away.
Damn.
And so, mind you, this is 16, and then I remember me and my friend Nikita were in the like computer lab, just Googling everything I was going through, and schizophrenic came up.
Yeah, the voice is schizophrenia. Yeah.
And she was like, "You're not schizophrenic," and I was like, "Dude, read this."
Yeah.
And it was everything, like line for line, everything I said I was going through. And she was like, "You're not." And then she looked at it, and just her eyes got really big. Yeah. And she was like, "Well, I mean, I talked to your mom. It
starts somewhere, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So I talked to my mom about it again. Nothing. Fast forward to when I am living with Tyler Durden at his place.
Yeah.
I told him like the voices are just getting really, really bad. Like
for real,
really, really bad.
And this is while you're high, though.
No, this is just
dead ass sober too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So it's starting to get really, really bad. And then I start trying to like, you know, with that anxiety and with dealing with that, I do start trying to like just like drink it away,
right,
and then,
numb it,
and do
something,
you know, which only makes it worse.
Yeah, amplifies it.
Yeah. So then I finally told my mom that like it's like life threatening at this point. And finally, it's not until I move out, and this is I'm 21 at this point.
Okay.
So she finally like takes me to go see somebody about it. I end up being placed on medication for bipolar depression and paranoid schizophrenia. Yeah.
That's a big load, right?
Yeah, man. So, but at the time, I'm just so enamored with like Fight Club and stuff like that I'm just like, oh, cool, sick.
Yeah, I'm hearing voices and
you know,
shit.
superpowers. X-Men. So all that to say, it prefaces with the not being able to smoke part. So now, fast forward, not living with Tyler anymore. I'm back at my mom's house, and now I have to get a job. I'm working at this warehouse.
Okay.
One of the weekdays that we have like a show that we were doing at this residency up at Three Links, Jay and Tomahawk and Stan and them were like, "Yo, we're gonna go out to Colorado because apparently there's like a meteor that's gonna come and like the debris is gonna come over this way." It was their conspiracy theorist friend saying this, but hindsight, just to let you know, they didn't believe the shit. They just wanted to go to Colorado and get weed.
Right.
But they were like, "Oh, this is fun." Like it was just a game for them.
See the meteor.
You know what I mean? It was just a game for them. Like, "Oh, we're gonna go out." Like we went and got ammo and like got fucking like army gear and fucking like walkie talkies. And because we were going out there and we were going to like shoot a video too.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay. So that was like the theme of it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but like it really was, he did see like a conspiracy theory thing that said that was happening, but no one fucking believed that's what was happening. It was just a trip. So we stop in Amarillo at the like Cadillac Ranch, do the shoot there. And then some people have to go back and some people go to Colorado. I go to Colorado with Tomahawk and Stan. And on the drive out to Colorado, we're like making beats and shit. And I'm just like writing music, and they're passing the joint around as they do. And like they always would pass me, even to this day, still pass me the joint and like, oh shit, my bad, I forgot. But now they're passing to me and I'm actually hitting it. Like we're into Colorado and I'm actually hitting it and passing back around.
Right.
And finally, it's like after like 10 minutes of this, they're like, wait, bro, like why aren't you freaking out right now? Like I thought, like,
because when you usually smoke, you freak
the fuck out.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, "Why? Are you good? Are you sure?" And I was like, "Oh no, bro. I feel like this. It's just mountains and shit around us."
Right.
And I'm like, "I don't know, bro. I just feel like this is like the cure for paranoia." And it just gets dead silent in the car. Like the beat ended that he was working on after I said that, and it's just dead silent. And then at first we were like, "Bro, we got to make that a song, make that a project or something." And then it turned into a band, only because when we got back from that trip, me and Stan ended up at Bomb Factory, and Erica was on stage. It was right after Straight Outta Compton came out. And Erica's up on stage talking to her, and she's like, if you have something in your mind, write it down, because like spelling is a spell. She's like, because spelling is a spell, is how she said it.
Erica.
And fucking, so I've always had this thing where I have to sneak backstage just because it's like, it's where I want to be. So I mean, even if I'm just there, it's just like, I don't know, just feels fulfilling.
Yeah.
So I sneak backstage, and then my other homie sneaks backstage with me. And Erica's walking towards us with her whole posse.
Yeah. And
he's like, we should spit to her. And prior to this, I've rapped to like Kendrick after Section 80 came out. I rapped to Gambino after Because the Internet came out. Isaiah Rashad after Sylvia came out. Up to this point, it's only been rappers. So I'm like, what is this gonna do? What is me rapping to Erica gonna do? For
right. She's a singer. She's like an R&B soul singer.
Yeah. I'm like, what is this?
Erica Badu, by the way.
Yeah, Erica Badu. Wondering. I'm like, what is this gonna do for my career? And he's like, oh man, if you're scared, just say so, bro. I'm like, come on, let's do it. So rap to her. All of her people around her are like filming the shit, And then like after I'm done rapping to her, she like gives me like a little karate bow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to get this video from somebody.
Yeah.
I end up getting the video from this guy, Art Visuals. Shout out to Naomi.
Shout out to Art Visuals.
And he gives me the video, and I tell him the plan that I have for it. So basically, I take the video, I give it to my homegirls that worked at Throwed Magazine, which isn't really around anymore. But I was like, I want you to take this video, post it on your page, and say some kid raps to Erica.
Like, don't even put your name in there.
I wasn't gonna post it because I feel like if I would have posted it, like, look at me rapping to Erica.
Yeah, it does look a little bit different,
you know,
from you.
No one's gonna give a fuck. But if they post it with some kid raps to Erica, then it's like you're getting comments, people like, no, that's Cam. You know what I mean? So it's like it'll just run up the traction. So the video ends up getting back to Erica. She sees it, sends one of her dudes, Cold Chris, is like her right hand man, to one of our shows that we have back in Dallas, and basically is FaceTiming her during the show.
Like, I'm here.
Yeah. And like, well, not even so that she knows that we're there. FaceTiming her so she can see.
Oh,
us.
Okay, shit.
You know what I mean? See, like, all right, what they're working with.
Yeah.
And then the next day, Cole Chris calls me and was like, yo, E wants you to play her birthday. And then play her birthday. Me and Stan played it. And I'm just nervous as fuck. Hands shaking.
I would be too, bro.
Yeah, it's like the biggest crowd that I'd ever played up to that point. So I rap or whatever. Man. Yeah. And everybody loses their shit. And I just walk off stage, hand shaking, holding my beer. And then her keyboardist, R.C. Williams, is like, bro, you need to tell them who you are.
Yeah,
like,
you kind of have to at this point.
Yeah. So I go back on stage and basically tell the story of Cure for Paranoia. I'm like, I know y'all don't know who I am, but like a year back, I got placed on medication for bipolar depression and paranoid schizophrenia. But it turned out that the music was way more therapeutic than the medication was.
Great story.
So I created this band called Cure for Paranoia. And this is my therapy, so hopefully it can be you guys' therapy as well. In the story, go to the back. I get on my phone trying to find my homegirl to get her backstage. Then I go open up Instagram because that's what we're messaging through. It opens up and then like it crashes and my phone goes off.
Oh, you're just fucking getting blown up.
Yes, bro. And like
your phone's just
So then that's when we decided like we should probably make this like
a thing,
a band.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then just from that happening and it actually being called a band. It was just a lot more opportunities came from it. A lot more shows came from it. A lot more just like.
Well, it's different from being a rapper, right? Exactly. It's like you got a band, you got like a bass player, guitarist, keyboard, or whatever. So it's like, oh, they're like.
And at the time, it wasn't even that. It was literally Jay and Tom Hawk in the back on their MPC.
Making rapping. Beats and you rapping, kind of the traditional style. Producer, rapper.
Yeah, but we just called it a band. So then it was like. Just viewed differently.
It is though. It's viewed completely differently. I completely understand that because in Austin it's kind of the same way. Like they don't want to book solo artists unless you play acoustic. But if you're a band, it can just be you and another dude,
right?
And they consider that a band. That's a crazy fucking story, man.
Yeah, man.
So after this, you play Erykah Badu. Your phone crashes. I mean, then what happens after that?
After that, we end up with I want to say 4 different residencies.
This is just around Dallas?
Okay. So we had 4 different residencies in Dallas. In this span of time, in the first year that Cure was created after Badu's thing, after Badu's birthday, we toured with Bone Thugs and Harmony. We opened for P-Funk, ended up opening for Nas. Just a bunch of stuff that was just like, damn, this is like for real.
Yeah, this is actually happening.
Yeah. But the thing is like there's just all of these. With that comes a lot of expectations.
A ton,
and
bro.
You're just like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna be famous. You know what I mean? And when that doesn't happen, you sort to get. Stuff happens so fast, so I got jaded even faster.
Like, that makes sense because you want the momentum. If the momentum slows, it can mess with your mental. I completely understand that. It's like once stuff starts rolling, you're like, all right, what's next? What's next? And then it's like, so I was going to bring that up. So all this momentum's happening. Things are going. You're doing P-Funk, all this stuff, Nas. And then when did it hit you of just like, all right, well, like what's next? When did it like stall out, I guess?
Whenever I had to go to rehab. Honestly.
You had to go to rehab?
So the whole music.
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No, of course.
Okay.
The whole music. Listen, I already talked about mental illness. Oversharing is like my MO.
Okay, me too. I'm a big oversharer. You know, so
that's where we're at.
I'll pry. But,
but the whole music being more therapeutic than a medication thing was true, but not to the extent when you're replacing medication with drugs and alcohol and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you're like, okay, this is my meds now. I can drink to get rid of anxiety. I can do other shit to get rid of depression. You know what I'm saying? So then that's whenever the stopping point came, because Deep Ellum is such a small knit place.
Yeah, it is.
And if people want to kind of be in your circle but don't really have much to offer apart from vices, that's all you're going to get.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Yep. And like, if it's easy to get and at this point you're relying on it and it's free, then it's like, why the fuck not?
It's not that they're toxic friends, but the environment that you create around these people is toxic, because it's either, and in college it was like this, it's like, I have my friends, but we all get high together.
Yeah.
And like, outside of smoking weed, you step back, you're like, what are we
really
doing? Yeah, what are we really doing? Hanging out. So that's happening to you.
And it's not even like individually, it wasn't like they were toxic individually, but it's like, if you go to Deep Ellum and 10 different people are like, let me get you a shot.
What are you going to say? Yeah.
You know, well, one, what are you going to say? But two, it's like, they don't realize that 9 other people offered you a shot. You know what I'm saying? They're just thinking that they're like
another guy,
you know?
Yeah.
You know? So rehab had to happen.
Was it for alcohol, for weed, or just for substances?
It was, weed was not even in the picture.
Okay, so you were drinking heavily.
Yeah, drinking.
And that's like, a bad one to get to.
Drinking like crazy. Like
liquor, beer?
Liquor. Like, probably drinking like one of those like little, not the big bottle of Jameson, but one of those little bottles. And not just like on some wino shit where I'm just like drinking out the bottle. But I'm saying like, if you just add up all the shots that I'm having throughout the day and throughout the night, probably like one of those little bottles of Jameson a day.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until it got to the point where, one, the voices were way the fuck out of there.
So had the voices gone away and came back?
They had diminished a little bit.
Okay, that subsided a little bit.
And then I'll never fucking forget this, dude. It's like some horror story shit. I remember it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. I was going to sleep. And like, I was starting to fall asleep and my heart skipped. And then that woke me up. I was like, damn, what the fuck was that? That's new. And then I started going back to sleep. And then I just heard my upstairs neighbor. And they were like, he does this every day. Yeah, this is what my voices were hearing. I'm thinking that the neighbor was saying
I thought he was like talking shit about you.
Yeah, no,
this is what your voice is saying.
This is what I'm hearing from the upstairs and the neighbors on the other side of the wall. It's like, he does this every day. Every day. He
drinks till he passes out.
He wakes up, drinks, goes out, and like goes to sleep fucked up, and wakes up and like drinks again with his hangover. And just like, I can't remember exactly what they're saying, but the gist of it was, at the end of it, I heard them just repeating, he's going to die.
Oh shit!
He's going to die. So matter of fact.
It got very dark.
Yeah,
very, very dark.
Like, he's going to die. If he keeps doing it, he's going to die.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, well, shit, y'all right? I mean, it's not it's not real, but y'all right. And I remember even talking to my neighbors. Like, we went to the pool the next day, and I remember just like saying that I like heard them yesterday, and they're like,
nobody's talking about you, man.
Right?
Yeah. Oof, that's crazy.
Terrifying. There's been like, just looking, like, this is my first time even like thinking back to it, because it's been so far from it. But there's been times when my bandmates would have to like come out of their room because I'm just like pacing, like hearing them.
Man,
but come out of the room and be like, and like show me, like, look, we're asleep. Dogs are asleep. We're asleep. Like, no one's in here saying anything. Like, but that's when it's like, was at the peak of it. But all that to say, it was after.
How long did you go to rehab for?
So it was outpatient. Is that what it is? Outpatient? Yeah, outpatient, when you can like
outpatient
go and
when
come
you
back.
Can like
So it was like that. I was like in this program like for 3 months, I think it was.
Okay, like 90 days.
Okay. And then that's what that adds up to. And then it wasn't until that I was like sober enough to be like, what, like no progress was able to happen, because it was like,
well, you were going out, right? So you would go to rehab and then you go out with your friends. So like, what the fuck are you really doing? You're learning about shit you shouldn't do, but you're going to do it anyways.
Right.
Inpatient might have been a little better for you.
Yeah, but I do feel like, I feel like the drinking really happened because it was like, whenever the stagnation happened, it was like, well, it was a good way to self-sabotage myself. To be like, oh, well, this isn't happening because I'm fucked up.
Yeah, because I'm drunk.
You know what I mean?
It's a good way to blame it on it.
You know? So afterwards, when it's like you have nothing to blame it on, it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? Like, what do we need to be doing different to actually, like, get in a better situation?
Keep this vehicle trucking.
Yeah.
So you did that for 3 months. Afterwards, did you feel like you got better or worse?
I was sober for 2.5 years, but the thing about being sober is like, if you don't kind of do the work to figure out what was it that was making me have to get drunk like that in the first place,
then it's like advice,
then it's like just it's superfluous at that point, because it's like you're not getting to the root of
the problem,
what the issue is, because like I'm thinking that being sober was going to solve my problems and solve the anxiety and like solve the depression and stuff like that, and it didn't. So then I ended up getting rejaded and started drinking again.
So after you said 2.5 years, you relapsed.
And so now we're in 2019, the darkest fucking year.
Really? Because let me pause you right there, because you're killing the story right now. I was keeping up with you for a while, and I saw a lot of this early success, and I was like, okay, Cam's up next. Hell yeah, proud of him. But then everything kind of like halted, and I guess this is why. And I never knew why, because I was like, he's super talented. The music's still good. I see you guys playing shows. It's not like that stopped, but I can see how you really just got in your own way.
Yeah.
So you relapsed 2.5 years.
Yeah. And we also just got caught up in the loop of like doing the residencies. Those were more detrimental to us than we thought. Like they were paying bills. And like,
but those people are buying you shots. They're enabling you in a sense. Right. Yeah.
And it's like, even in the 2.5 years that I was sober, like it was still just detrimental to us to be doing those residencies, because it's like a be careful what you wish for sort of thing. Like I wanted to be able to do music and not have to work a normal job.
Yeah, make it a full-time job.
But I also didn't want it to feel like a fucking job, though. You know what I mean? Like it's like if there were shows where I was like, fuck, all of us, we were just like, fuck, we got to go do this show at so-and-so's bar. Or you know what I mean? So 2019 came. There's kind of like a divide in the band a little bit. Like me and Stan, the singer, are off doing our own thing. Jay and Tomahawk are like working on their thing.
Was it for a certain reason?
We moved into a new house
together.
Sort of.
Okay.
Because during 2019, whenever I did relapse, I wasn't really in the house that much. I was just like
out,
bro, like making up for the 2.5 years that I missed. And then we moved into a house, but I wasn't around when they even picked the house to move into. And like Stan was living with his girlfriend at the time, so it was just already feeling like separated, just like band front wise. So they moved into a different house. I didn't see the house we were moving into until it was time to move into.
So they did everything. Was it behind your back, or was
it
because
they kept being like, oh, we're gonna move into a house, but like we have a lot of ideas that just don't always come to fruition.
Yeah,
so
you're creatives,
right? So to this point, I'm just like, okay, and then I come home after like a week, and there's like boxes and shit, and I'm like, oh shit. Mind you, we get to the new house, and my room is like, it's like the kids' room in a house.
So is it small?
It's so fucking small, and like not like half of my shit couldn't fit in this new room.
So they basically just threw you in like the small room.
Yep.
Do you know why they kind of?
I mean, I just wasn't around to even. They were like, oh well, you can just get this one.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I just wasn't around.
That's fair.
To even be like to speak my piece on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it also just wasn't about me. It was about them finding a house. You know what I mean? And I was just kind of along for the ride. And so 2019, I wasn't at that house at all. Like probably the first 3 months we lived there, I was never there. I'd stop by to get clothes or something, and then like just dip out, you know. But so yeah, all I'd say 2019 was just out of there, and just not a good year musically at all. Wasn't writing anything, creating anything.
Were you guys not playing shows?
Not really.
What happened
not
to the
together.
residencies?
We had the residencies, but we started. Me and Stan would just do them instead, and like we started like DJing, or like he would do his loop station, kind of the stuff that you saw on the street.
Yeah.
But again, we weren't creating anything new. We were just like, oh well, this will pay us to do this.
Yeah, I'll just keep playing the same shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So got caught in that loop, and then COVID happened.
Oh, and that stopped everything. Probably all the money.
Man, but no.
Really?
Because
for me, I didn't play a single show.
Man, okay, so check this out. Check this out. Since fucking COVID happened, like I didn't have the residencies to fucking like keep drinking at and not care. So then I got back into I didn't go sober, but I did definitely like I was sober enough to be like, what the fuck have I been doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a weird thing to say, but COVID is honestly, or I'll say lockdown. I'll say that instead. Lockdown is the best. No, I just want to say I didn't want to say COVID is the best thing or the pandemic is the best thing, but lockdown,
being locked down was a good thing. Okay.
Was the best thing.
Elaborate.
That could have fucking happened to me because like I just got to sit there and just like really be introspective about what I wanted to do. And so we created Couchella.
I saw that.
Yeah, and basically started getting like tips from that. I started selling masks. I wrote my first project that I like just as me that I'd ever put out.
Right.
Not that I'd ever put out, but that I put out since we'd done Cure for Paranoia. I got my first car. Like just all this shit just happened. I made Cure for Paranoia and LLC. Just like all this shit. Thank you. That I would have never even stopped to think to do.
Right. If the rat race would have,
you know, if I was still if I was still in the fucking perpetual fucking loop.
Yeah.
But that came with I was doing this stuff on my own, and me and Stan spent 2019 like trying to like get it together.
Right.
So now I'm doing this stuff on my own, and it's quarantine. He's got to be quarantined at his house with his girl, so he's not really knowing what's going on. And then like at my birthday in 2020, he just like goes off on all of us, and it's like, just like
rips you apart. Fuck you, like
pretty much, yeah. And just like basically saying like he hasn't trusted us for the past like 3 years, and like, all this shit. And
so you were blindsided by this?
Hella,
yeah,
hella. Like and
damn.
But what it was in his mind is like I guess he thought that we were like just making money moves without him, but it's like you still know where the house is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot. So then. Now it turned into, okay, well, what is Cure for Paranoia now?
Right.
And prior to this, I'd had so many people being like, you know, Cure is you, right? You know, I was like, at the end of the day, like, Cure for Paranoia is you.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that's why it was so weird to hear this from Stan, because I always felt like I was just like
the front man
backing him up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I felt that like there were so many times where I just felt like it was like kind of this, like it was like they're there to see Stan and I rap.
Right, yeah,
you know what I mean?
I rap over the beats he sings. They like it more.
You know what I mean? And like that's how I viewed it. And Arrow was like, "No, bro, like you're Cure."
That's the way I saw it. I saw you as the front man. I saw everybody else as an accessory to amplify the talent.
Never saw. And it's so crazy. Like you never realize how other people see you, or you'll never see yourself the way other people see.
Oh yeah, you always see the worst version of yourself too.
Yeah. So then it just turned into making Cure Paranoia a brand, and then I started just. Actually, I was Cameron McLeod in Cure, but Cameron McLeod itself wasn't like an entity yet.
Yeah.
I was just the guy from Cure. So then, started pushing the Cameron McLeod name and shit. Now I'm here and like put out my first project. Got vinyls on the way. I'm like starting to like play out of state shows again. I'm playing in Shreveport on the 25th. And I don't know. I'm just honestly. It's been a really long time since I've just been happy with where I'm at. And like, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I'm also like excited for what's next. You know what I'm saying? But not necessarily like beating myself for not being at what's next now.
Right. You can't always worry about what's next, because if you do, it'll eat you up.
Right.
It's like you just honestly sometimes just got to trudge through the journey and not worry about like the destination. So like, I'm just going to fall in love with the way I'm going.
In the present.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Shout out to Mark Sama. Thanks for the sub. Shig shiggity wig wiggity big biggity bet it. Shiggity's in the chat for Mark Sama.
Shig wiggity wiggity.
Hell yeah.
One more time. Spell it.
It said shig shiggity wig wiggity big biggity bet.
Don't spell it. Never mind. That'd be the whole rest of the podcast.
It's just it's just a whole lot of shit. It's just one of my songs. I say that.
All right.
Cool.
Shiggity wiggity.
So yeah, shig shiggity wig wiggity big biggity bet that. So if you can say it faster than me, I'll give you $100.
One more time.
Shig shiggity wig wiggity big biggity bet that.
Okay, let me just process
just maybe pause on it. Cool. So that's kind of what you've been up to lately. After lockdown, I'm assuming the show's open back up. Do you still have those residencies?
Oh God, no.
So all 4 of the residencies kaput.
No, like gone.
Why?
I don't want.
They didn't want. Oh, you didn't want them anymore.
Bro.
Were they not at like? And I don't want you to put any of these bars on blast. Were they not at prominent places that had a good crowd?
Great places.
Oh, okay.
Great places. But I just know.
I feel you though, because I had a residency and I was over it.
Yeah, like the mental energy, like fucking just like
loading, unloading, showing up.
Never had to do that.
Yeah,
well,
never.
You're the never. I'll help, but I've just never been good at it. Yeah. And like the chords and shit, I'm just like it's not even that I was being a diva about it. It was just honestly like a collective agreement that it's like it'll be easier if you just
get the fuck out of the way. Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
It's just like so like mentally taxing to just like. I'm never gonna do. I was to the point where I was doing like 4 or 5 shows a week before Thursday. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was just like
It does get a lot.
Yeah.
Because you don't just play the show. You got to get there before. You got to play the show. And then afterwards, you got to shake hands.
Right.
And then people want to buy you drinks. And you have to tell people no, especially if you're trying to stay sober. And it's like, but then you got to wake up the next day. And it's like, it's a rock star lifestyle. And it's hard because you don't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
And you stay up late. And it's a nightlife. You really don't have a day life. And then relationships, you can't really have a relationship because you're always out.
Yeah. And I can understand if it was like, sure, I'll deal with that if it's like a tour or something. But I'm not about to just like give my life up to like go play the same bars every week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just like not. Well, then it's not ethical.
And you can also get stuck in that. If you keep playing those, they're like, okay, well, Cam will always be here.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, no, I want what's. I'm glad I got here. Yeah. But I'm like, what the fuck is next? Yeah.
So now where I'm at is to the point where I'm like, the shows that I'm booking is enough that'll make up for a week of doing 4 or 5 shows before Thursday. So it'll just be one show that I'll have to deal with. Right. And then, you know.
It's good to prep for and make more.
Right. Yeah. And it got to the point where at those residencies, we were just fucking background noise.
Just dicking around, nobody's paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just like, that is like a shot at your ego too.
Big time. Nobody wants to play in an open lobby with nobody watching. It sucks. And even though you're getting paid, it still sucks.
It's cool get paid rehearsal or whatever, but still, it's just like.
After so many times, you're like, all right, man. The fuck is next? Yeah. Like, I totally feel you. Because after a while, you're like, all right, I'm good. Like, where's the crowd at? Right. And that's the hard part. It's the business part of it. Yeah. It gets really tough. Speaking of shows, do you have any crazy show stories? Anything that happened? Somebody jump up on stage, girls grab you, like, it could be a bad, like, sound.
There was one time where it was around the time whenever, like, the riots and stuff were first happening. Remember there was, like, the shooting downtown Dallas? This was, like, 2016.
Was it when the guy had the gun down here
and they blew him up or whatever? They sent the thing in? Yeah. Okay. Because of the police brutality and shit. So we were doing a police brutality song, and it was like one of our biggest shows that we had at Trees. And Tomahawk was a little lit and just like got into like his like rock star mode, because before that he was in like a sort of like My Chemical Romance, Circus Survive sort of band. Okay. So that person just came back, and he decided to stage dive during the police brutality song, but landed on this like tiny girl, and like he just disappeared in the crowd, and like we're just going through the song, like he'll be back up here in a minute.
You can't stop.
Yeah, but the song ends and he's still not up yet, and there's like a circle around him. So basically, when he dove out there, his shirt had like holes in it, and like somehow her like stiletto had got like caught in his shirt. So he was just like stuck on the floor,
wrestling to get his shirt out.
And then he ended up getting back on stage and just was defeated. And like it was our second to last song. So like we're doing the bow to the audience, and like I filmed it on the phone, and you look back on the phone and like we're all just like cheesing and shit, and you look at Tomahawk and he's just like
looking so defeated.
Yes, bro. But it's only funny now that it's so far from then. But oh boy,
that sounds chaotic. Was there anything that's happened to you personally? There has to be some like crazy show story, bad show. Like what's your worst show you've ever played?
Oh my God, we opened for 21 Savage in Lubbock.
That was bad?
So bad.
Well, I guess because you guys aren't that's not your vibe.
That's not our lane. And also there was like 14 openers for the motherfucker in Lubbock, and these kids got to go to school tomorrow. Yeah. So like we're opener number 12 or 13. And they're just ready to see.
They just want to see Savage.
Yeah. And like we're watching the 3 or 4 bands that go before us getting booed before they can even start the mic or to pick up the mic. So we're on stage and like just like getting into it, and people are fucking with it. But then it's just like, we're like, all right, we got one more song. Fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And like, just like going at us. And one of the kids that was in the audience that was like yelling at us, he comes and finds me in the back by the green room. It's like, oh, I just want to apologize, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, fuck you, bro. Like,
he was saying that shit in front of everybody and then wants to say,
yes,
sorry.
Yeah. And I was just like, bro, he was like, nah, you actually really killed your shit, bro.
Bro,
like,
fuck off.
And I was just like, bro. And then
wow,
the next day, like he found me on Twitter, and like I was just like something, oh, thanks for having us to open for 21 Savage, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you and 14 other people open for him, blah, blah, blah. So he's back to talking shit again. It was like, I was like, aren't you the guy that came and apologized to me, like, by the green room?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, blah, blah, blah. So it was just
oh my God, just fake, dude.
Yes, bro.
So fake, bro.
Yes, bro. I think that's probably the worst show. Other than that, I'm just thinking about, like, drunk moments. I think.
Have you ever been super drunk at a set and shit the bed?
Nah.
So were you sober when you played?
I was drunk, but like
not like blackout.
Like, yeah, not like blackout. That would happen afterwards. But yeah, the shit the bed part would come afterwards because I'd be up there being very like vocal and honest about my mental illness and shit, and then people would come up to me after the show while I'm like really drunk, thinking that like the show was shit. And people would be coming up to me and just be telling me like, and mind you, this is like 2016, 2017, and it's really fucking cringe to say, but like people would be coming up and saying like essentially like the music like saved their life or just like changed their life and shit like that, and like how much the set meant to them. And my drunk ass, while thinking everyone already hates me anyway and thinking they're just like trying to appease me, I'm just like, really? You like it?
No.
I can say it now. It's back to the Tomahawk thing. Like I can talk about it.
You can look back at it now.
Yes, but
see how bad it was.
That's when the bad shit would happen. That's really the sets were great, but it would just be afterwards drunk and like hating myself and just being an ass to other people.
Damn.
Which that might have happened like maybe 4 or 5 times before my band was just like, bro, fuck off. You got to get your shit together. Yeah. Like you can't. Like these people are coming up to you and like
saying they like the show and you're like
and then that's just like turns people off. They're like, all right, well, fuck this guy, I don't care what.
I'm not gonna listen to his music, not gonna support him. So I want to take a turn. So you guys are playing shows as a group. I'm seeing now that it's you and this other guy. Do you not play with the full group anymore, or
it ebbs and flows. Like sometimes I'll have like yesterday and tonight, I'm playing with Jay and Tomahawk. We play up at Psychedelic Robot.
4-piece. You, Stan, Jay.
No, Stan's not even.
So Stan's.
Yeah,
I'm not even friends with him anymore.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, like we're cool. We're
cordial.
Not. Cordial. Yeah. If I see him, we're not gonna fight. But like prior to me running into him at Psychedelic Robot, that was my first time even speaking to him in person since like 2020.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And y'all were like boys.
It got yokoed. It really did get yokoed.
Really?
Yes. His like girlfriend like.
Yoko means Yoko Ono from John Lennon, like crazy girlfriend, baby mama.
The epitome of Yoko. Like his girlfriend started telling him that like our house wasn't a safe place to be and just like shit like that. And mind you, like, fuck, yeah, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, right.
But ran into him at Psychedelic Robot, this art gallery that we're playing at, and that was my first time even like seeing him or speaking to him in person. Like since then,
that's wild.
Which is neither here nor there because, like, everything for a reason. And honestly, my life wouldn't be the way that it is now, like, had that not happened. And it was so abrupt and random that, like, in my mind, I was like, this, even at the moment, I was like, something's got to come from this.
Yeah.
Because it was just so out of nowhere. It was like, okay, well, there's a reason. Like, do you ever have, a friend, or have you ever had a friend that, like, y'all just stop being friends for, like, the dumbest reason? And you're just like, okay, well, obviously, we're just not supposed to be friends.
And you look back on it, and you're like, should I mend it? And you're like, nah.
Yeah, like
it is what it is. It's the universe talking, and I listen, man.
Yeah.
So,
and it's so weird because now it's to the point where like I'm having meetings with these venues that want me to do events there, and like at the end of the meeting, they'll be like, "And maybe we could just get a reunion with like
the original group."
Yeah, these venues want to be like the one that like want to be able to
back together
exactly, and want to be able to like post and like advertise like Cure Paranoia reunion at this place. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because when it happened. This is honestly my first time even like talking about it, and like on, I guess this counts as like a public like publication. It doesn't feel like it to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like we're just chopping it up.
Always talking. You know what I mean? It's on the internet.
You know, so. I'm like, who cares? But like this is honestly my first time even talking about it because it was like for what? For why? Like I didn't want that to be like the headline. Like I didn't even want to like put any life into that. Right. That it was like I felt like, and it also could be, it could be paranoia. Yeah. But in my mind, I felt like he really was thinking like, this is going to end Cure for Paranoia if I do this. You know what I mean? Like it won't be a thing anymore.
Yeah. Well, what's one show if there's no longevity? Because then people are going to want it again and it's toxic. So
right. And also thinking about the fact like, yeah, we've toured before, like we've gone across the country before, but essentially like no one knows who the fuck we are. They don't. So like if whenever this does get bigger, it's like not people. There are people that haven't heard of us yet.
Yeah.
That don't even know that what the band looked like before.
Yeah, they have no idea. I mean? So much has happened.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, the story is still the same, and like what it represents is still the same, and like I'm not giving that up. Like whenever I made Cameron McLeod 7 Days in the Life, my first like solo album or whatever, they were the guy that was managing the project was kind of pressing for me to like change Cure for Paranoia Instagram to Cameron McLeod. But it's like Cure for Paranoia,
brand essentially.
Yeah. But still, Cure for Paranoia is the brand. It's no longer a band necessarily, but it's like a brand. And like whenever I do shows, if I do shows with Jay and Tomahawk, it's Cure for Paranoia.
Yeah.
If I do shows with just me, it's
Cure for Paranoia. Yeah.
If I do shows with like fucking 10-piece orchestra band,
right?
Cure for Paranoia. You know, so it's like because the music is the therapy. And that doesn't change. Yeah. Like, regardless of who I play it with, it's therapeutic for me. You know what I'm saying?
I think the overall meaning behind it, too, it's like, I kind of battled with that. It's like, do I need to have a band name and then a solo name? And then I just went with, like, I'm going to just start calling myself Loonar. If I play with people, it's Loonar. If it's me, it's Loonar. Yeah. It just made it a lot easier. And then I don't know about you, but I got sick of trying to, like, figure out an identity.
Right.
Like, musically, you're like, I just want to fucking have a name. I want to stick with it. I don't care what you think about it. I don't care if you get it. But I got so sick of, like, trying to find a name and shit like that. And then the other thing that was really tough for me is like getting people on the same page as you. Like, especially with having a band, it's tough to have like, all right, you guys got to care as much as me. And some people are like, man, I don't fucking care. You're the rapper. Like, you're the front of everybody. I'm background. So
that was a big thing with creating Cameron McLeod, because there was points with Jay and Tomahawk where we would talk and like Jay would just be like, well, I mean, Cure Paranoia is your thing.
Yeah, it's not ours. And so like then it's like they have angst towards you and you're like, no, it's us. Like
it's a fucking... not so much angst, but it's just being like, I need my thing too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're all individuals at the end of the day. It's like even though we play as a group, but like I still have needs that I need to be met musically, creatively. So but I'm glad that it's still Cure for Paranoia. So now when you're playing shows, it's at least a 3-piece now too. Like
at the least, it would be a 3-piece.
And then what do they play?
Like if I was at the least, it would be me, Jay and Tomahawk, and it would be me rapping, Jay and Tomahawk on the loop pedal machine.
Okay.
Or it would be like me and Trusco. Shout out to Trusco. That's who we're playing with in Shreveport. And it'll be him and his MIDI board, and he plays bass, and like he's the MD. So it'd be him. Like whenever we opened for Farside on 420, I think it was. Yeah. It was like him, and then we had I'm just not gonna say all the names. But we had drums, sax, and then this dude on like electric xylophone and shit like that.
Oh, so you had like a full little band. Okay.
Yeah. Which is like that's what I prefer to do.
Yeah, it's just tough, man. It's really tough to get all those people on.
Well, not so much, but my thing is like it has to make sense if you're gonna go fucking Voltron. The show needs to make sense.
Or Golden Dawn Orchestra.
Yeah, you know, it's just got to make sense. Like if it's like, oh, we'll pay you guys like $350 for a set or something. What is all 8 of us finna do with that? You know what I'm saying?
I don't want $20, bro.
Yeah, we finna go Papa Do's after this shit. Like, that don't make sense. So, like, I want us to all, if I am gonna have it be that big, it needs to be a situation where like we're all gonna walk away with like at least a couple bills. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just to like make it make sense.
I completely agree. That's another reason why I went solos, because the money was better. Yeah, it's like, wait, I could have a group and split it, or it could just be me on a USB. And I take the whole. Okay, I'll do that. I don't really need like shout out to my boy Chris Mead. He was always there by me, but it's like I don't really need you. Like, and I'll make the same amount of money. I was like, fuck it, I'll just do that. I don't have to worry about you setting up. Yeah, I don't have to worry about the levels being.
Did you ever get like, sort of anxious about like the friendship, family aspect of it, like feeling like you're like cutting somebody out?
Yeah. It was really hard because like. Chris Mead, seriously, to this day is one of my best friends. He probably always will be. But it got to the point where I would make suggestions because it's like I'm writing the music, you're playing to my beats, I'm doing everything. And it's like I would tell him things, but he's really good. Yeah. So sometimes he would probably listen and be like, well, I'm gonna do this. Right. And the main reason I stopped playing with him is because it's like it was just so loud. Like he's a drummer, he's got cymbals, toms. I just got a mic. And so eventually I was
you're not trying to be fucking screamo.
I'm not trying to do that. And then I would watch people, like they would record, I would watch it back and I'm like, this is
all you hear is
cymbals. And I'd tell him like, yo, cut back on the cymbals. And it happened so much and it never changed. So I was like, all right, man, like. And then he also wanted to get paid all the time. Sometimes I would do shit pro bono, you know. Somebody's like, this is a great opportunity. There's going to be 75 people there watching. Like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. And I would do it with him, but he would want to get paid. So I'd have to come out of my own pocket to pay him. And then it just got to the point where it's like, I can just do these way easier. I can book more. He was already doing other shows. So, but it was kind of weird playing, like doing something professional with your friends. It's like builds an odd relationship. And
for me, it just got to the point, especially with Jay and Tomahawk, where it was just like, okay, do we really need to split this 3 ways for like the talented producers and stuff?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like every show that Kendrick does, he has Dr. Dre on stage with him or whoever, or fucking Hit Boy on stage with him. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. And I was like just dealing with anxiety about that. And then finally I like sat Jay down and like we were just talking about it. I was like, you do understand like the reason why I do this is like it just makes more sense financially.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, bro. I mean, we know you're not a snake, blah, blah, blah. And that just felt like I took a shit. Because like I had been holding that in, just being like, well, I'm going to do this show now. You know what I mean? Like leaving the house to go do gigs.
Yeah, and then, it's not that I don't like you guys. It's easier and I make more. And,
And like obviously if there's an opportunity where it's like, yeah, we need to make it a thing. Like Erica will have fucking 20 motherfuckers on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's to the point where it's something like that, where we're going to make it a huge production, then of course we all need to be there.
Yeah.
But for right now, as like, because no one's going to elevate Cure for Paranoia except for me.
No, that's your name.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's you.
So it's like, let me go out and do this groundwork. And then whenever big opportunities come, like they're still at home working on beats, still like working on engineering and shit like that. So whenever it does come, like, then it's like, okay, we're both meeting in the middle.
I completely agree with that, you know? Like you said, kind of do the groundwork. Like, let me go sweat this shit out.
Yeah.
I'll get the people behind me. And then when we do get a good opportunity, it'll be all of us. It'll be awesome. But it's like...
And I can bring something back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
Instead of like, I can't bring anything back if we're splitting it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I can't... Even with the moving out of the house thing, it's like, if I'm not trying to figure out how to be like self-sustainable now, when is it gonna happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm 31. How old are you?
20. 27, 28.
Oh, so you're 28.
Yeah.
Okay. What year did you graduate high school?
2011, I think.
2011. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Blame it on the alcohol. So
big facts.
So when you started doing that, how were they affected when you were like, hey, you know, I'm gonna go start doing these solo shows? Did they take it personally, or did you like? Because I know you said there was like a release.
Oh my God.
A relief.
I got so many whammies. Whammies is what we call like whenever you just like digging at somebody. It's like a joke, but you're very much serious.
Yeah.
Because I started playing with like a different band. It was still Cure for Paranoia, but then I would have like sax, keys, drums, bass, and like just do shows with them. And then I remember we were having rehearsal for one show. And just like I was just getting shit from everybody there that was just like, it was jokes, but it was serious. And it was like, oh, he don't even play with us no more. He don't even hit us up for gigs no more. But it's like the people that I would play with, like the Grays, that is like the epitome, like top notch of like, if I'm playing with a band, that's the vibe that I want to go for.
Yeah.
It's like both funky and hip hop all at the same time. But it comes at a price, because since they're such good musicians, they're always touring. Like even right now, I would have wanted them to play with me in June in Shreveport. They're in fucking Maryland or something.
They're busy.
On a musical.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, if I'm always just like, well, fuck, what am I gonna do without you? If I only rely on playing with you guys, then like
it's gonna limit your opportunities.
You know? So it's like I had to go out and then like start building relationships with other playing musicians in the city that are like hungry and trying to do shit. So then if it comes down to it, it's like, well, we're still cold also.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You got a roster of dudes you can rely on.
And it doesn't feel like it's like, oh, I'm stepping down a tier.
Yeah.
Play with them. It's like, damn, I have like 3. It's like having like 3 badass cars. Like it's just like, okay, they can all get me where I need to go.
Yeah.
But if I can only drive one, then it'll still get me where I need to go just as well.
If you could have it your way, would you always play with the band?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you don't like the whole like traditional rapper, DJ in the back, you in the front.
No.
That's not your vibe?
No. And like this project that I put out, 7 Days in the Life, the guy that's managing it, him and Angelica Ray, his wife, are really trying to push for me to go like the Vince Staples way and like just me and tracks on stage. Like that's what they want.
It's traditional. It's much easier to market.
Yeah. And I think
I mean it makes sense.
Also just with me, it was just easier to have more. It's almost like a security blanket.
I was going to ask that. Do you like other people on stage because less of the spotlight's on you and they can look at other people? Okay, cool.
And I think that's why, like, whenever I was playing with Stan so much, I really did, like, kind of condition it into my mind that it's like, well, they're looking at him anyway, so just stand up here and rap.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just up here rapping, but, like, background. You know what I mean? So, like, I did condition it into my mind so that it made it easier to do. You know what I mean? And I just wouldn't have, I just feel like, again, everything for a reason, because if he was still in the band, I honestly don't think I ever would have really found my voice like that, or found it again, because I definitely lost it, and I think it just would have stayed lost if it didn't go.
Something had to happen. It feels like. Yeah. If you would move that mic a little bit closer to your face, I don't know if it's moving or you're moving. Cool. Wow. There's a lot to unpack there. So big, long story. I appreciate you sharing that, because I just see what I see online, and I know online is the spotlight. It's not really what's happening.
No, man. When I go to podcasts, I don't have insurance. I don't have health insurance. So when I go to podcasts, that's free therapy.
Yeah. No, and I love it, because most of my podcasts are just like funny. We just talk about stupid stories, which we're going to get into that. But I think it's good for people to see, like, the artistry and being a musician. It's not all glamour. It's not all like, yeah, it's cool having people come up to you after a show like, man, that was fucking great. But it's like, you still, at the end of the day, it's you and the person in the mirror. And it's like, you're your biggest enemy sometimes, and you're always hating on yourself and like, oh man, I could be doing better. But then you compare yourself to other people, like, well, fuck, so-and-so's doing this, and I should be, you know what I mean? So it can really get to you. So, but I'm glad you shared that, because I had no idea. So let's pivot from that. I want to get into this 100 days thing. I've been seeing this shit online. What is it? Do you write like a verse every day? What is this all about?
So, Keep It 100 is a challenge that I created right after Stan wasn't in the band anymore. Okay. So that I could be like, I don't know. I felt like I'd lost it. So I didn't see like
the spark
writing verses.
Oh, okay.
I thought I'd lost the fucking ability to do it. So then I started. I'd always wanted to commit to writing a verse every single day, at least one.
Right. Even if it was shit.
Just if it was shit, just like write it. And because my main thing with writing verses is like, I've started hundreds of verses back in the day and just been like, not good enough, and then just go to the next thing and never come back to it. So basically I was like, if I Keep It 100 and make it a situation where it's like, I'm going to write and post a verse every single day, but also let social media know that it's happening. So then you almost have like accountability buddies at this point. And you also have people that you just want to do it in spite of, that think you aren't going to be able to. Yeah. Which probably don't even exist, but hey, paranoia.
It always feels better that way.
So yeah, that's what I would write, record, film a video, and post it every single day for 100 days.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And I did that last year. And then at the end of it, I created a book, basically with all the verses and like illustrations from my homies. Like shout out to Detox, shout out to IZK. They would just do doodles in there and like affirmations and stuff. And then also had Tony Williams do the foreword for it. And then I printed up 100 copies and sold them for $100, like each, basically.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. And then and recently I just did part 2 of it and just finished it on the 15th, which just so happened to end on my mom's birthday.
Oh, that's crazy. So now you're gonna do the same thing. Publish it, print it out, sell them again.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
It's a good way to monetize. It's like I haven't ever heard of that. I've heard of musicians doing NFTs. Are you familiar with?
Yeah, we got one of those on the way too.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So where people can buy it and they get a percentage of the royalties. I think that's really cool. I haven't done it yet, but I think it's tight.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So besides this 100-day thing, I mean, you're playing shows. Like, what are you working on now? Are you guys working on? Are you working on anything solo? I know you said you just put out a 7 days in the life. That seems like it was in the past.
Yeah. So with that. Vinyls are on the way for that. Right now that I just finished doing 100 verses in 100 days, now I'm to the point where, since I've done it twice, that's 100 songs essentially. Yeah, you know what I mean. So like, basically now what I want to do is get to the point where I start putting out a song every single week. I'm not gonna announce it and go online and be like, look out for a song every week. But
dropping this Friday,
right? Exactly. Yeah. But just literally, I remember listening to an interview with Russ where he was like, before he was popping, he'd put out like 11 albums. But like with every album, like he would always see like the first song, all these listens, and then it just trickles down to like nothing as the album goes.
People don't like albums.
Right? Yeah. So no one has the attention span for it.
Nobody does.
Yeah. So
he talks about doing a single a week for a year, you'll blow up.
Yep. So basically, he started dropping 1-song albums, and basically would just put that out and make events of that. And basically, that's what I'm on now. And just from doing the main thing that started me also doing 100 verses in 100 days was that I had put out a verse prior to that online. And I got so many messages and text messages from people that was like, so good to see that you're still at it. Like, you know how you said in 2019, you're just like, oh, you fell off. I haven't seen you. Like, so many people were like, damn, glad to see you're still rapping. Glad to see you're still doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I didn't know.
You didn't know you had all that phantom support.
Yeah.
I feel it, dude.
Or I just didn't know that it was viewed that I'd stop like that. Because I was like, shit, I'm still playing 17 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so, like, I didn't even realize that. But it's like a tree that falls in a forest situation. If no one's at your residency, no one's around to fucking hear it fall. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's what really made me want to be like, okay, content.
Yeah, content.
And yeah, and that's just where I'm at. Like, cool. I've shown that I can do 100 verses in 100 days, and it's just like to the people where like to the point where people get it. Like, we get it. You can rap. You know what I'm saying? But can you make a song? Can you make something I'm gonna want to listen to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
everybody can. I mean, I hate to say this. I've been to a ton of open mics. Like, anybody can rap. Yeah. Anybody can do the hibbity bibbities and do the crazy lyricisms.
Yeah, like, lyrical miracles.
Yeah, lyrical. But can you like actually put a tune together that people like remember? Like, is somebody gonna walk out of here singing a hook?
Right.
You know, doubt it. You're one of these guys. No, I completely get that. So this is so I do a top 3 every time. Well, I'm going to start doing this on the podcast. I have 3 things that I'm like kind of thinking about, talking about. One of those was quality versus quantity. So as of right now, I'm leaning more towards quantity as far as content goes, because quality is super subjective. Yeah. But what's kind of your opinion on, like, do you think quality is more important or quantity is more important?
I personally think that quantity is more important, because then they're just more in your face, or you're just more in their face. Yeah. Because even if the quality is lacking, you will still get that publicity off. Say you put out a bunch of songs. Even if there's one song that's like, damn, this is fire, I love this shit. Yeah. If you have enough pub, then the shit that they talk about, that song that they don't like, is still going to go up because, you know, that's like, they're still talking about it. Everyone's not going to like everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. We all are like just a collection of things that we like and dislike, and everyone's collection is different. Oh, 100%. So it's like you can't sit here and try and like please everybody.
Dude, you can't.
So I mean, just like put the shit out there. I myself personally am horrible at sports, so I would rather have 100 swings for a home run than to just have one to knock it over the fence. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So even if all my some swings are gonna be shitty.
Yeah, they're gonna be trash.
You know what I mean?
But not every song's a good song, dude.
Right.
But, it is what it is,
you know.
Bro.
But fucking swing 100 times, you gonna hit something.
Yeah, you will connect eventually. I'm 100% behind that. And I think quantity is way more important because quality is subjective. And like if me and you were like, all right, let's see who can get more numbers on X amount. If I'm posting 10 times more than you, even if it's worse, I'm going to be in people's faces way more. So right. I totally agree with that. So
straight up fall in a forest.
Yeah. So let's completely pivot the conversation now. Now we're going to kind of get into the goofier shit. So what was your favorite childhood cartoon?
Woo, shit, man.
I know you like cartoons.
Oh, to this day, I still watch cartoons. I was heartbroken when Arthur ended.
Really?
I think Arthur might be my favorite childhood cartoon.
That's an OG ass.
Into cartoon. High school, I'd be like, 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Arthur's going on,
it's gonna drop.
You watch anime?
I do love anime.
What do you watch right now?
Right now I'm rewatching Naruto Shippuden because Naruto is trash.
My girl loves Naruto. Man.
Naruto is fucking fire. It's so good. Yeah. It's so relatable to everything.
Dude,
and like, me being like a little like dweeb in high school wanting to rap, I was just comparing Naruto to like the rap game and shit. And I was like, Madara is Biggie and what's the name is Tupac, and they started the Great Ninja War and just all this shit. And I mean, now fucking Attack on Titan is my shit.
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't even like anime. That shit's badass.
It's like you don't have to like anime to fucking.
It's a good story.
It's a good
and it's very interesting. Like the
Titans
and shit. Like,
and the twist and shit that they put in there.
Yeah,
so good.
No, it's really good.
What else, man? My Hero Academia.
Really
is good. I'm really into. I'm not as into anime as I used to be. To where I would just like dig and like just look at all the lore. And not like because now I'm just on like the top 3 shit, just like the main ones. Yeah, obviously,
ones that are popping.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It makes sense. My girl's super into it.
Yeah.
What's some of your guilty pleasures right now? Do you have any?
I don't think so.
Besides,
I mean, maybe from. I don't think so.
You don't have something that you're like, man, like I do this, but I probably shouldn't. Or it's something that you really like to watch. Here's my big thing. I really, really like watching gameplay walkthroughs. Like I won't buy the game, but I'll be like, oh, a new game coming out, and I'll watch somebody else play it.
Okay. I guess I have one. Because in my mind, I wouldn't view it as that, but I do get shit about this.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I do really fucking like watching like little self-help YouTube videos.
Like the DIY shit?
Yeah, not even... It'll be like a compilation of like speakers saying like
motivational shit.
Yeah, motivational shit, and I'm just like,
you gotta want as much you want to breathe.
Yeah, and like in every video, like I'll just wake up in the morning and put it on and like start my day, and the first thing the guy says like, "Want to be happy? Here's your way to a better life."
Yeah,
and I'll always turn it down so like they don't hear it in the next room. Just him saying that part, and then I'll turn it back up for like the speeches and shit. But that is like a little bit cringe to me. But I'll usually just have it on. My thing is like I'm such a like. Is it hypersensory?
Hypersensitive?
No, because maybe I just want a lot of
you want sounds?
Stimulants.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So like if when I'm working on music, I'll have like the record player playing, something like an interview on the TV
going.
You know what I mean? And like something on YouTube. You know,
that makes
sense.
I
just like a lot of like noise going on while I create something, because then it's like I don't know. I just like the overstimulation. Maybe. Yeah. I just like that shit while I'm writing. Like,
so you don't feel alone? Is it a sense of you don't want to feel alone? Or?
I'm already used. I've already had to function with a lot of voices going on.
So it kind of is like a norm.
Yeah. So it's like
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I like hear like some people don't like New York because there's so much noise and shit going on all the time. Maybe shit on some therapy shit. Maybe I just don't like the silence and just being by myself with my thoughts.
Maybe it's an insecurity, like a personal insecurity that you have where you want other things around. It goes back to like why you want other people on stage.
Yeah.
It's because it's like if you're alone, it's like, well, it's all on me.
Yeah.
But if other shit's going on, you're like, well, that's going on.
And on top of that, like just I might hear something from the interview or hear something from that record that I'm listening to and be like, oh, that'd be dope.
Inspired to take it.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. And I believe like to be creative, you have to consume.
Yeah.
I think all creative people steal. Like you can't just
nothing's
sit in
original.
Nothing's original. You can't sit in a room and it be completely silent and be like, I'm going to make a masterpiece.
Right.
Like you need some point of basis of like a foundation of somewhere to start. So I completely see that, bro. Cool. And we already talked about that. Creative process, you've kind of talked about that already. So here's three things. One of those three things was quality versus quantity. The other thing that I really started getting into this last week was the dark web. Do you know anything about the dark web?
A little bit, not a lot.
It's a crazy place, man. So you can get anything. Like you can, and I was watching this guy go through it. It's like you can buy shit from different cartels. You can buy different things. Like you can purchase an organ on the dark web.
Explain to me, is it like darkweb.com? Like how do you go to the dark web?
So I think you have to download this other like torrent thing.
Software.
Software. And then you view it through that with like a VPN. It's still all traced and shit like that. But like it's essentially like the internet's backdoor.
Yeah.
So you go in.
And it's all through Bitcoin or something?
Yeah, it's all through cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and shit like that. But you can literally buy anything. A lot of it's non-traceable. So you can get like, you could get liquid MDMA delivered to your house. I mean, you could get caught.
Yeah.
But, and there's a lot of like things that are super illegal to view, like CP, child P, which that's a big thing on the dark web. But it's just like the internet's backdoor. You can literally just buy anything.
Yeah.
So I was just watching this guy talk about it, and he's like, and it's a scary place in theory, but when you see the website, you're like, it looks just like Reddit.
Yeah,
like there's just different subcategories.
That's honestly what I imagine.
On it, you're like, oh, well, go to this section and see what they got.
And
like it's like this ship's from the Netherlands. Here's the potency. Blah blah blah. Shout out to Siegel for the sub. Shiggity wig wiggity big biggity bet that. It was good to have you guys out, man. 2 months in a row. Shout out to you, Siegel. All right, and then the other thing that I've really been into. I just didn't know if you knew about the dark web. Have you seen this show on Netflix called Love on the Spectrum? Bro, you've seen it, huh?
Cry every time.
It's so good.
Did you watch the second season?
I haven't yet.
Dog.
The first season
so
is
fucking good.
My name's Michael.
So I missed the first season because the first season they're in like Australia.
Yeah, I think it's Australia. So
the one they just put out is here in America. So fucking good.
It's good. It pulls at the heartstrings.
Yes, dude.
Do you feel bad for laughing at that show?
Do you laugh at the show?
Sometimes.
I mean, I laugh when they do something like purposefully funny.
Yeah, when it's goofy, I laugh, but a lot of the times.
Okay, I guess when you say laugh at the show, I didn't know what you meant.
Yeah, like when you see them like really get into race cars and shit, like I laugh, or some of the interactions I laugh. But for the most part, it's very heartwarming.
There was one scene that was just killing me. The girl was going on a date with this guy, and they were like connecting, and she immediately was just like, "I'm sorry, I'm just in love with you."
Oh my god, I remember this.
And it was just like. I was dying, but I mean that's supposed to, like she got kind of faded before the day. Her mom gave her a shot before she left. So
she wasn't that big. She's pretty tiny. But didn't the guy like walk off?
He walked off and then came back and read a poem, and it was just like dying. It's
so cringe. It makes you feel good about your dating life because you're like, wow, man, it could be a lot harder,
right,
for me, but luckily it's not.
I feel like.
Do you resonate with how
sometimes just the anxiety aspect of it?
Yeah, of being like, nervous, like fuck, like well,
right,
what are they gonna ask me?
That part, and it's just like we're all on some sort of spectrum for one, but also we're all in that same race, like trying to like connect with somebody and find somebody. You know what I mean? So it's like, but they just are basically doing it with leg weights. You know what I mean?
Pretty heavy weighters on. Yeah,
you know. I guess back to guilty pleasure. I do love crying at MasterChef.
You cry at MasterChef?
Hear me out.
I cry too, but go ahead.
I do like only the beginning episodes wherever they get their apron and their family's there to see it, and they're like, "Yes,
Mark's
bro.
Gonna get it out,
yes, bro."
Yeah.
Like bawling, bawling. I think that would be one. Like I won't watch MasterChef at my bandmate's house.
Because they'll see you cry.
Yes.
Dude, I'm the worst at crying, bro. Like I will watch like a good tear jerking like commercial.
If a commercial could get you.
Allstate commercials sometimes.
Yeah. See, I need a decent amount of time for it to like get to that point.
Yeah.
Like I need to be like, this is gonna make me cry, and then it
waterfalls. Yeah.
Like me and my bandmates, now wife, they just had a new baby. Me and her used to sit on the couch, and we would binge. This Is Us, I think. Is that what it's called? It's like the ABC show.
I think I've heard of it.
I think it's called This Is Us, but that show is literally just there to make people cry.
Oh, okay.
It's about like
Hallmark Channel shows.
Yeah, it's about like these three siblings. I think one's adopted, and it's about them growing up, but it goes like back and it does like flashbacks to like their dad, who was like this amazing guy who died in like a fire trying to save them.
Fuck.
And
I already want to cry.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And it just goes back and forth between all the shit that they have to go through dealing with that. It's good. I think the show just ended, but it got to the point where me and Key just had to stop watching it because it was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, you're just putting yourself in a depression, crying so much.
Just like, why?
Dude, I will watch I'll scroll Reddit a lot, and I'll see like one of those wholesome meme things, and then I'll like dig into the story, and it's like, dude, I will sit there I probably cry once a week.
No,
and it feels really good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll sometimes do it on purpose. I'll be like,
me too.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
I know I'm gonna
cry,
MasterChef, and I'm like, fuck this, but I feel so much better.
Yeah.
You feel better after you cry?
Yeah, 100%.
I feel so much better after I cry.
It's like you took a shit.
It really is. It's like
because I think what it is too, it's like there are other things that happen in our lives that's like maybe a more emotionally stable person or emotionally aware person would cry at those moments, but I mean it's been conditioned out of us not to.
Yeah.
So then maybe you're just looking for an excuse to get that out because it's not just MasterChef tears that are coming out. You know what I mean?
Those tears are coming from a place.
You know what I mean?
That was just the vehicle that.
Yep. So it's
I resonate with that. Big
time. So it's like, got rid of that. You know
it's a good way to put it. Like. You're not maybe necessarily crying at the show, but it like ignites it. It's like the flint that starts the fire.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, because every once in a while, and I feel like we resonate on that. It's like both very emotional people. Where you're hard on your sleeve. I overshare a lot because I feel like everybody should know where I'm at. But
my thing is, I feel like everyone knows anyway.
Really?
That's paranoia.
That's the paranoia. Yeah. See, I feel like, and I don't want to get too deep, but it's like I feel like there's three versions of yourself, right? The way other people see you, the way that you see yourself, and the way that you think other people see you. So it's like, right? And it's when you start thinking about that, it's really easy to get overwhelmed. So I'm always.
I think I exist mainly in that third one. I exist mainly in my identity is wrapped up in the way I think.
They see you. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up to think, but like I try to start living in just my truth because I used to be such a people pleaser, especially like, and you might resonate with this, like being a poor kid. I didn't have a lot, so I just had to rely on my personality. So it's like, I'm gonna be cool. I'll hang out with you, and I'll bump you up. I'll push you up, and you know. But it's like for the most part, you can lose yourself in that if you're always trying to make other people happy.
Right.
So that was one thing I really had to battle with. Really good fucking emotional and what's the word I'm looking for? Psychological talks today.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Let's get into this section called This or That.
Shiggity biggity.
So this is going to be the rapid round where I'm going to ask you this or that.
Okay.
If I don't agree with it, I may grill you a little bit just to kind of pry.
That's fair.
For the most part, we're just going to see where your head is at. All right.
God.
Maury or Springer?
Maury all day.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Whataburger.
You think Whataburger's better than In-N-Out?
I'm not about to play with you, bro. Whataburger is 10 times. Okay.
Really?
You know what?
I think In-N-Out's solid, bro.
You know what? I will say that I've had more bad burgers from Whataburger than I have at In-N-Out. But
You've had a bad burger from In-N-Out?
I don't think I've. That's what I'm saying. I think
you've had more bad burgers
from Whataburger than In-N-Out.
Then why'd you pick Whataburger?
I'm gonna pick Whataburger every time. Whataburger is great because when Whataburger is good,
it does
kicks
slap.
In-N-Out's.
Let me ask you this though: do you do the lettuce, tomatoes? Do you do the whole gambit, or do you just like a double meter with cheese?
Bro, I'll do the double meter with cheese, but also like I will annoy the people. If there's people in the car with me and it's like 2 a.m. and we're trying to order some shit, I will annoy the people in the car with me because I'm adding fucking grilled mushrooms.
Oh, you're doing the whole.
Yeah, I'm making an event of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, fair enough.
But also, just if you're going up there so late, sometimes they just don't give a fuck and they just throw you whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But when that shit is on point, I'm gonna pull up to Whataburger after this. Actually,
well, you got a lot of people in the chat actually vibing with you on that one. Yeah. So that one's a good one.
When Whataburger slaps, it slaps.
It does.
In-N-Out has its consistent amount of like smack.
It does smack. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Call or text.
Text.
Instagram or Twitter.
Instagram.
Love or money. Ooh.
You know,
get you thinking on that one.
Genuine love.
Genuine love.
Yeah.
Like finding your soulmate or getting a ton of money.
Yeah.
You'd rather find your soulmate. Okay, fair enough. Dragons or unicorns?
Dragons.
Truth or dare?
Truth.
Is it true? I don't have anything for that. I just wanted to move on with that. This one's also very, very controversial.
Okay.
Red Lobster or Olive Garden?
Olive Garden.
What?
Olive Garden.
How do you not like Red Lobo?
My very last job that I had, I got fired from here because I had my first big show at Trees open for gunplay at MMG was Olive Garden. To this day, I will fucking. If Olive Garden called me right now, I was like, "We need you to come in.
We need you to be on the front lines,
back, baby. I'm back, bro. Bread. I used to eat Olive Garden breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
How? Like they're not even open that late or early.
Good. But I mean, I would work from open to close. So breakfast, I'd walk in there, give me some breadsticks and salad for breakfast.
God, so you worked at Olive Garden?
Yes.
So you're a little biased.
You
ever work at Red Lobster?
I did not, but Red Lobster used to be my shit. But no, man. And also, I'm just like I do love seafood, but I think my favorite like type of food in the world is Italian food. And granted,
really?
Yeah. And granted, Olive Garden is like McDonald's Italian food, but
you hit the nail on that.
You know, but
so is Red Lobster. It's the McDonald's of seafood.
You know,
let's be real.
But never let it go.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, I'm Red Lobo all day. Zombies or vampires?
Vampire. Okay, so what is this? Am I having to go against these things?
No, it's like
I'm siding with these.
Like if you
things?
if I told you go watch a show about zombies or vampires, what are you picking?
Oh, zombies.
Really? Me too. I'm team zombie all fucking day. Going out or staying home?
Staying home.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Me too. Would you rather have big feet or tiny hands?
Big feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, tiny hands would suck.
Yeah, and what if you gotta fight somebody?
Yeah, for real. Just think, think. Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
This is also a very, very controversial.
Wait. Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast or dinner, man. That's it. The best answer I've gotten out of this was breakfast for dinner, which I'll let him get away with it.
I'll steal it.
Okay, fair enough. This one's also very, very controversial. Do you fold or bunch your TP?
Fold. Who
Why bunches? You say it like that? People bunch.
They're wrong. A bunch? Like you bunch it up?
You just grab it, bunch it, and get to work.
Find God.
Really?
Find
God. If you bunch your TP, find God. And then this one's also pretty controversial. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I got ammo for this one too.
Yeah, it's an open face sandwich.
That's an open face sandwich. Could you go to Subway? They split the bread.
Yeah.
The bread is still touching, and they put shit in there. So that's like an elevated hot dog.
Yeah.
But I would consider Subway a sandwich.
Is a Euro sandwich?
Technically.
Yeah.
The bread's touchy.
Yeah. Yeah, huh? Never thought of that.
Never thought about it that way, man. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Children bunch toilet paper. You're right, Cody. You're right. All right, cool. Now these next ones are going to be a little bit more of like, I want to know why. So if you could turn into any animal, what would it be?
Giant squid.
Why?
I love the ocean, and I would like to spend a lot of time in the ocean. If I could, I would rather when I die just take me on the Carnival cruise and just roll me off there and let me kind of like float to the bottom.
Like a Kraken style? You want to be like a 40-foot?
Which is why, because I just want to be a large, it could even be a large octopus. I just want to be big enough to not be fucked with. And let me just, because I want to spend my time in the ocean, but I don't want to have to fucking worry about getting my ass ate all the time.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to have to deal with that shit for the rest of my fucking life. So I'd rather be a giant squid. And you know, some might argue you're gonna get bored swimming around in the ocean all the time. If I get fucking bored, I'll come to the surface. I'm a giant squid. I'll pull a ship down or some shit. You know, I'll just like be toxic for one day.
Yeah.
But also, it's got to be something to where it's like I don't got to deal with sharks.
The sharks aren't gonna fuck with you.
You know what I mean? Don't got to deal with whales. But I can also just like, I'm obsessed with the ocean, bro. Because we don't even know what's going on.
There's so much of it. We have no idea
what
it is.
And if I'm a giant squid, hey, I might be an alien. We don't fucking know.
That's very true. You know? What I don't know what the percentage is, but it's like what 70-something% of the ocean hasn't even been looked at.
Yep.
Like
70.
Dude, that's 70%. Crazy.
And then
70. And then isn't it like 70% of the planet is covered in water?
Yep.
So it's like the majority of the planet we have no idea.
Is it 90? Oh no, our bodies are 90% made of water. Is that right?
I think it's 70.
70?
I think we're 70% water.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, like,
we get a fact check in the chat here.
Yeah, help us out, producers. But the thing is, like, we know that there's like an infinite amount of. You could tell me what a star was called 8 billion light years away.
Yeah, but
you don't know what the bottom of the ocean looks like. We live here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, make me a squid. Let me go find out what's going on. But a big one. So.
You don't get fucked with.
I don't got to fight for my life.
I completely vibe with that. 60% is the ocean. Let me check here. 60% water. Our bodies are 60% water.
Are they?
And then what about the planet? What about the Earth? We'll keep moving on with these questions. You answered that really quick. Nobody's answered it that fast.
I've been thinking about this.
Okay. This motherfucker wakes up. He's like, I'm going to be a fucking squid.
You know what I'm going to do
You have
tomorrow?
a squid tattoo?
I don't.
You're going to get one.
It should happen.
Yeah, you should happen. What superpower would you choose for yourself and why?
Teleportation.
That's a good one.
Probably.
Teleportation's a good one.
Teleportation, but also not also. Okay. So is it like The Boys where you have a specific power, but you also could like punch through a wall if you needed to?
No.
You just have this.
You just got one superpower.
Yeah, I think it'd just be teleportation.
Do you think being invisible is a weird superpower to pick?
If you what are your motives? What's going on? You know what I mean?
That was the first thing.
When people say like, "Oh, I want to be invisible," what are you hiding from?
Like you trying to watch my mom take a dump or something? Yeah.
What's going on?
Really weird.
Let's unpack this.
Yeah. If you wrote a book about your career so far, what would you title it?
Shit. That's it.
That's it. Hey,
because
that's actually really good. I didn't even think about that.
It's like, is it good or bad?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like shit.
I thought you were like, all right, I gotta think about this.
No,
that's a good one. Shit. Period.
Yep. No exclamation mark though.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fuck, that threw me for a fucking loop. What advice would you give to yourself at age 15? Short, if you had like 30 seconds to be like,
no one fucking cares.
That's a good one.
You know,
because nobody does.
No one cares.
We're not here long enough for anybody to care.
You know, we don't know what's going on at the bottom of the ocean. No one cares.
Yeah, that's so true.
And also, it's just like everyone else is just worrying about what you think of them. You know what I mean? Everyone else is worried about how they're seeing to other people.
Yeah.
No one's thinking about you. You know what I'm saying?
So true, though. And everybody's worried about themselves.
Yeah.
We're all narcissists these days.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Shout out to us.
Yeah. If you were an ice cream flavor, what would you be?
Peppermint.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like peppermint.
I love peppermint. That's my
favorite.
You like
mint chocolate chip and shit like that?
Not really.
No. Just like straight flat peppermint? Is that the green one?
Yeah. Well, Brahms has it with like the green, and they might throw some red in there too, just like switch it up on you. But yeah, I think like a good old vanilla ice cream with some peppermints in there.
Damn. So you really like? Do you like just straight up peppermints too? You like the flavor of peppermints?
I must. I just like the. I just like the idea of it. Like you got this like cool minty, like
it does feel good to the throat.
Yeah, you got this cool minty flavor going on, and you get vanilla.
It's kind of a vibe. Yeah. Wouldn't have been my first pick. I'm vanilla. I'm straight flat though.
Just vanilla.
Just vanilla, straight flat with me. So you shipwrecked on an island. You're now stranded on this island.
Okay, so I'm stranded on the island.
You're stranded on the island. What 2 items do you bring with you? You can bring anything. We just got to take them from the ship, of course. But like,
do I have electricity on this island?
No,
probably not. Right?
These are going to need to be manual items.
So I only have 2 things.
You can bring 2 things with you. You're stranded on an island. Chat. This question's for you too.
Okay. So say I had a notebook. Would the pencil count as my second thing, or does my notebook
would be 1, pencil would be second?
Damn.
It's like each thing. So like if you want to bring a shoestring, that's 1 thing. You want to bring a knife, that's 1 thing. You want to bring this bottle of water, that's 1 thing. But of course you have the lid. But
in jail, don't they have like little stoves that they can have that doesn't really need to be hooked up to anything?
Maybe a battery powered, but what happens when the batteries are out?
Batteries. I'd bring a big old pack of batteries. So
and then that little stove.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a second chance. I feel like that's not the smartest thing to pick. What would
Listen,
you're stranded on an island.
I have a weapon with my stove thingy.
So you're gonna use that as a weapon and your source of food.
And my source of it's gonna be my thing to conk the rabbit over the head, and then it goes inside the skillet.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yeah.
I would personally take a net
to catch things
and a knife.
Okay. Well, my thing is, you just wasted your items because now my food's gonna be hot. You have your knife. I can get me a stick and like fashion something.
That's very
sharp
true.
Rock or something. They didn't have knives back in the Flintstone days.
You got a point.
You know, you got to yabba dabba do that shit.
You got to yabba dabba do that shit.
Life.
That is a vibe.
Come on.
If you could shapeshift, how often would you impersonate Ryan Reynolds?
When the check came. So every time I would just wait for his movie to be like, oh, they're filming something, and then I'd like time it to when he needed to go pick up his check.
Right.
Do that, and then
actors don't do direct deposit.
You know,
you got to pick that check up. All right, I'll retract though. That was a kind of a bait. If you could shapeshift into any person, who would it be?
I have the answer.
Your head is
I have
going
the
in
answer.
weird
I
places.
have the answer.
Who is it?
And the answer came to me so quick, but I'm Oprah Winfrey.
Why would you want to be Oprah?
Rich as fuck.
She's so rich.
Rich as fuck.
You know you're rich when you just give away cars.
Yes.
That's fucking rich.
Oprah goddamn Winfrey. And then I would just like start the show again.
You'd be like, we're back, bitches.
We're back.
I'm Oprah.
I would start the show again and just give shit away. Because that is so clean.
That's clean. Such a flex.
And I would just want to be able to do the Oprah thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
On the magazine and shit like that?
Yep.
That's so tight.
Oprah Winfrey. So do I have it? Is it like I can only turn into one person a day, or am I just Oprah Winfrey for the rest of my life?
No, you could just shapeshift. So you're Oprah, and then you go back to camp.
Oh, okay. Because I thought it was like just one day. Yeah, I would just be Oprah for a day, and then like.
No. That's another good follow-up question. If you could be one person for a day, would it also be Oprah?
Okay, I think so. But now that I'm continuing to think about it, if I can only be one person for a day.
Chat, this question's for you too. If you could be one person for an entire day, who would you be? I'm gonna try to think too. I would say
I would probably be Andre 3000, but only if it was on the like with the stipulation that like I remember what his routine is, so I could like walk through the day of what he does, like go around.
So like your subconscious is intact.
Yep.
And it's like kind of leads you through playing the flute on the street.
Exactly. Playing the flute at Starbucks and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like I would watch the shit out of that show if it was just like, you know how they have those sort of shows on HBO where it's just like nothing's really happening. You're just following, like in high maintenance.
Yeah.
You're just following the story around all day. I would love to just see what Andre does all day.
That would be cool. Like live vicariously through him and like be in his conscious body, but the subconscious is kind of leading you. That'd be cool.
That's when you find out he's a vampire.
Yeah. Cody said, I'm going to be Johnny Sins. I'll be slanging dick for 24 hours.
You know
Good Lord. That's a good one, too, though. Have you ever peed in a swimming pool?
Yes.
Do me, too. I feel
like
a lot of people are ashamed of that.
I think I've done that in the past year.
I do it every time.
Yeah.
Did you ever get told that lie, like, if you pee in the pool, it's going to turn
the blue
shit?
Did
you ever believe it?
When I got older, and I believed it for a little bit, and I think one of my friends peed in the pool, and I was like, it's a lie. And then
I just kept pissing in the pool. I will always pee in the pool.
I feel like I've seen videos where it happens, though.
Really?
There's videos
I feel like
where
you gotta be rich to have a pool that turns blue when pee touches it.
Yeah, because there was a video where this old lady was like sitting there in the floaty with her fucking like little margarita glass, and like the blue starts coming around, and the guy's filming her was like, "Bitch, I knew it was you," and like since she had to get out.
I knew you're fishing in that damn pool.
Yep, like get out. So
that's funny as hell. What's one thing people assume about you that isn't true?
That I'm humble. And it's gonna sound weird.
So wait, so you're not humble?
I think you're pretty humble. I am humble, but it's only because I'm so fucking medically unconfident and like deal with anxiety so bad. So it's like it's not like it just doesn't feel like earned humility. I mainly just like deal with the imposter syndrome. So it's like I'm like, yeah. It's so like when people, oh, you're so humble, I'm just like, I'm just not confident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I need to stop speaking that over myself because I am confident in what I do. But it is very much, it's like 30% humility, 70% like one day everyone's gonna like one day, I don't know, just feel like one day everyone's gonna like.
I feel like you got to be confident though, like because if you aren't confident in yourself, who else is gonna believe in you, bro?
It's true, and I mean, I guess it takes some sort of confidence to like fucking go up to people at the malls with anxiety.
It takes balls. A lot of people are afraid of that shit. You know like people's number one fear, at least in the common world, like the first world, is public speaking.
Yeah.
People are like, I've had people come up to me, and you probably have too. Is like after a show, they're like, I don't know how you do that. Yeah. Like, what rap? They're like, no, get in front of people. Right. I can't. I fucking get terrified.
I'm more scared speaking individually to people,
like one on one.
Yeah, after like the shows. Yeah, not necessarily this.
Okay,
this
but like after a show.
Yeah, but like after a show, speaking to people individually, that's when I get super nervous. It's easier for me to be on stage
because it's rehearsed. Like, you know what you're gonna say,
and just also just like you, it just feels less like in your soul. You know, like staring in your soul, sort of. It's just like I'm talking to a collective of people,
an audience of people.
You know,
not talking
I mean,
straight to you.
You know, but then it's just like when I'm talking to like one person after the show, and they're like, and obviously they enjoyed the show or whatever. Then it's like, oh fuck, they're gonna find out I'm not cool or some shit. You know what I mean? So it's like that's just more scary to me is the individual.
I got a question for you because I haven't talked to anybody that's. I mean, because we kind of do the similar thing, play shows like that. So after a show, are you more extroverted or more introverted?
Introverted.
Me too.
I had this residency at this place called Three Links, and one day I played a show on my birthday, and my homie Jaeger got me a chessboard for my birthday because he had said like whenever I rap, he was like, "Bro, your mind moves like chess. How do you like put those words together?"
Yeah.
So he got me a chessboard for my birthday. We played chess in the back like patio after the show, and people would come up to talk, and they would be like, "Oh, I see you're playing chess. I'll let you play." When I tell you I played chess every show there for the rest of my goddamn
people didn't bother you
there, yes, because you can just go back there and play chess, and people will come and they'll like stop and like watch or be like, "Oh, we can like I'll play you next" or something like that.
Yeah.
But like you can just I didn't want to like leave and go somewhere else, but it's just like one, I can put the anxiety or like those like kind of like anxious thoughts into something else.
Right.
And then two, it was just the people that wanted to come up and just kind of be
around
annoying. Because this isn't me saying like that everyone that comes up to me that wants to talk is annoying. But if you're at a residency and you constantly see kind of the same people, then it does get like just a little like a lack of social awareness sort of there, especially when it's like drunk people.
I hate being around drunk people when you're sober.
You know,
they want to hang on you, hug on you, and you're like, just back up a little bit. But you want to be rude. Yeah, you want them to show up, support. It's a fine line.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so chess would definitely help with the introversion, if that answers the question.
Yeah, because after a show for me, I'm drained because I'm giving a lot up there. You're moving a lot, you're saying a lot, you're trying to engage as much as you can. So like afterwards, it's like really hard for me to want to stay, even though.
When you feel like you done said all you can say.
Yeah, I was like, I put it all out there, man. If you didn't get it, you ain't gonna get it now. Right. And it's like I know that part of it is staying there and talking to people and like getting that adoration and being like, don't forget to listen.
And that's the network. That's the networking. Yeah.
But it's so draining doing that shit. Most of the time after I play a show, I'm like, I'm out, and I literally just dip because I usually invite people out, and then afterwards I just go hang out with people I'm really cool with. If you could teleport anywhere, where would you go?
I mean, I immediately want to say the bottom of the ocean, but that's not going to work out.
You'd have to be a squid, too. because that would be a pretty tough.
If I was teleporting squid, I would.
I can teleport and shapeshift
at the same time. I would teleport into Oprah.
Oh my god, a squid version of Oprah.
Squid version of Oprah. Giveaway. I don't. If I could teleport anywhere in the world. I don't know, man.
You don't know what? Is there no country you wanted to go to, like a bucket list thing? Like, oh man, I want to go here.
I mean, yeah, obviously those things, but now I'm trying to think of like what's something that I could teleport to that's like, just like you know how you go to see the pyramids, but like you don't necessarily like go inside. Like
you don't go to Egypt and go inside the pyramids.
Right, right. I'm trying to think like teleport somewhere that's just like
like untapped.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Amazon or some shit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What would yours be?
I would go to Thailand.
Yeah.
I would just go to Thailand and be on the streets and eating street food. And like, I'd take like $150 with me.
Yeah.
And just go and spend it all there and come back.
Yeah. If it was just to go on a trip to somewhere that I really want to go to, it would be Italy.
Yeah. Sure. See, because you love Italian too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like with the swiftness. Yeah. And
I guess that was pretty much it. Just like, where would you go? And like, bam, what would you do?
I'll leave it at that.
Okay. That makes sense.
I feel like I just wasted my teleport though.
Hey, you picked it. You want to teleport as a Oprah squid.
No, I want to shapeshift into
Oprah.
Then teleport to the ocean. Buy that bitch to just move everybody.
Say, all right, you're gone. Oil rigs out.
I would shapeshift into Oprah, teleport somewhere to buy an island that's like kind of close to like the middle of the ocean. Oprah Island, we would call it. Shapeshift into said squid, goes to the bottom of the ocean. Then, whenever I'm tired of being at the bottom of the ocean, come back up, hang out on my island, teleport home.
It's okay. Hey, it sounds like a Tuesday afternoon for me.
You know?
I like it. I think that's a great note to end it on. Shout out Cam.
Oprah
Cam.
Shiggity biggity.
You can shiggity wiggity big biggity bet that. Don't forget to follow Cam on all the socials. I'm pretty sure it's just Cure for Paranoia, right?
Yep. Twitter. You can shiggity wiggity biggity bet that. Shiggity wiggity biggity bet that.
Do you have anything you want to tell the folks before we sign off?
Man, shit, that's it. He said everything. If you want social media, man, hit me up on MySpace. Cure for Paranoia. I'm there.
He's there.
Shows coming up. I don't really know.
What are you doing tonight?
Playing at Psychedelic Robot. And then tomorrow I'm playing at City Hall for Juneteenth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's giving political. And
it's getting political.
It's giving. And then Shreveport next week.
Louisiana, right? Shreveport, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'll get better at making little, flyers with your shows for the month or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Get on Canva, dude. It's free. That's what I do.
Get on what? Canva?
Canva. That's what I remember the thing I sent to you. I just made that on Canva. So I just took a picture I found of you, removed the background, threw it up with some text.
Well, damn. Okay. Oh yeah, that's the move.
Canva's a good one. Yes, they put his Twitter in there if you would, mods, and then also put his Instagram. I think you're more active on Instagram and Twitter. Those are like your top two, right? Yeah. Cool. Follow us, man. Super talented musician. It's been a good time sitting down with this man. You can shiggity wiggity big biggity bet that. It was good to have you guys out. Until next time, peace, man.
Shiggity wiggity biggity bet that.